I'd like to call the Town Council Public Works Subcommittee regular meeting to order December 13th, 6:03, the Town Council chambers. I'll do the roll call. Rachel Ryan.
Here.
Gary Lafferty.
Here.
Robert Talick.
Here.
Herm DeCina.
Here.
Ken Demers. Here. Minutes. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes? Any changes, any additions? Does somebody want to approve them as is? Accept them, I should say.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as listed from the November 22nd, 2021 special meeting.
Second.
Beautiful. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Rachel abstains. Public participation. Anybody out there? No? Great. Correspondence, we have none. Old business, we love to talk about that. I know Lou has something to share with us on item A. You got it.
Okay,
Sorry.
got it now. As far as old business, item A, at the last meeting in November, it was discussed, and I was asked to reach out to Mrs. Smoley and offer her to install a new driveway apron. I did make that call the next day, that Tuesday, and she refused it at that time. She's insisting that she's looking for some drainage improvements. I had a lengthy discussion with her. I did offer to also meet her out there the next time we got a sizable rain event, if it happened during business hours. And I wanted to just go over it with her together. You could see where the water's coming from the property to the north of her on the right side, if you're looking at it from the road. So she said she would call me if she wanted to take me up on that, but you know, she's still holding the position she's been holding all along, unfortunately. As far as the other two, no new updates unless you have any questions on items B and C on their old business.
Well, does anybody have a question?
I had a question about
Sure.
the Middlebury Road. The apron, do you think, in your opinion, would solve the problem that she claims about the water rushing in and?
So you weren't here last month. I drove by there twice, my second week here, and then, you know, my third or fourth week, we got two really good rain events.
Yeah, I read in the
from my-
minutes that,
Yeah, so from my observation, I think the curb and the apron that's currently there is doing what it's designed to do. You'll also see in the minutes that the town engineer did a drainage calculation, and the current drainage in place is satisfactory. It exceeds the town standards, which is to be designed and for a 25-year storm. So with that said, you know, my observation when I went out there, the current apron was an overlay. It's kind of delaminating, it's falling apart. So eventually it's going to fail. Maybe trickles are getting through there because of that delamination. So I'm of the opinion that if we were to cut it back, you know, 2-3 feet and construct a new one, instead of doing an overlay and going over the top, rip it out and replace it the right way, give it a nice pronounced 1.5 or 2 lip, that she would even get added protection and it would last much longer. And that's what I tried to offer her. That's what I offered her unsuccessfully.
okay.
So hopefully, you know, she changes her mind. If we do get a rain event, you know, during the business hours and I have an opportunity to meet her out there, you know, perhaps it'll change. But at this point, you know, as we sit here currently, she was not interested. That was, in fact, I came to that deduction before I even read all the old correspondences and became aware that that was something that was offered to her about 1.5 years ago as well, sometime in early 2020.
Oh, okay.
I think she would get added protection if she took us up on it, but it's not our call.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I can. Is she notified when we have these meetings, so if she has to speak, standing up? I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, she's come before.
Yeah,
She
I
has
did,
definitely come before.
I did inform her when I called her that day that we had met the night before. She said she was unaware of that. I did inform her that we would be meeting again, the second Monday of the month, so that, and, it'd be posted on the town's website and all that, so I thought perhaps we may see her tonight.
Yeah.
I know she did place a call to the town manager's office last week, and Mark was gonna give her a call back.
Okay.
So I haven't heard anything beyond that.
So I just want to share my thoughts quickly on that. So if we made an offer, and we made an offer a year and a half ago that I don't think I was aware of, but anyhow, we made her an offer and she's refusing to accept it. So what, we just remove this from old business forever until it comes up again? Because by having it on the agenda, I feel like what Gary's saying is it's on the agenda, we have to call her and tell her about the meeting. If it's not on the agenda, we don't need to make a call.
Yeah, I agree.
Does everybody agree with that, or am I?
I thought it
Yes.
was a done deal after last month's
Okay,
meeting myself.
okay. So brings us to B. I mean, you could almost treat that item the same way. However, that item to me is a bit more important than,
I still say that there's a public safety issue.
I totally agree. We just don't know what to do with it.
Yep.
So I guess B, we could keep on as old business. Did we have
Do
any?
you need to put A to a vote, or do you just want it removed?
Make a motion on that.
Do we need to vote on it? Go ahead, Herman.
I make a motion that regarding old business A, that over the past 5 years, back to 2016, the site was inspected many, many times, resulting in the complainant, Mrs. Smoley, coming here at a meeting 2 months ago and showing a video of the water entering in or about her property, that we later learned was the water resulting from the serious storm that occurred several months ago. The storm of the century, the rainstorm of the century. And that we made a motion at that time to the town manager to assign the new director of public works, Mr. Spino, to go there and conduct an on-site inspection, which he did. Came up with remedial action that should be taken. She was notified, and at the last meeting, for the other commissioner's benefit that wasn't here, we even had a copy of the letter that was sent to her. She didn't show up at the last meeting, and nor she didn't show up tonight. So I think that definitely the motion is that it's no longer there as old business.
Perfect.
Second.
Rachel, second it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Buckingham, we're gonna leave, and what about Turkey Brook?
Turkey Brook, now that the asphalt plants are closed, the highway staff is gonna get up there and do some maintenance. They're gonna do a little, cutting of vegetation, clearing it back, a little dredging, and, just do some PM there. And I think
Okay.
that's gonna improve the flow there. It's long overdue. Bob's been trying to get there the last couple months, but emphasis has been on finishing up all the construction-related problems before the asphalt plants go. So he's getting into some of that other stuff now. I think at our next meeting, hopefully we have an update on this, that there'll be some progress made.
Sounds good. Any questions about Turkey Brook?
No.
All right. So new business. Echo Lake Road.
Echo Lake Road, I'm sure you're all aware of the washout we had on the shoulder of the road on the westbound lane. We need to replace about 700 feet of storm drain. Because of the supply chain issues that we're experiencing throughout the country, we've been unable to ascertain that. We had hoped to come to you guys for a bid waiver and try to get something done before the end of construction season. Unfortunately, that has not happened. So it's looking more and more now like it's going to be a spring of '22 project. With that said, I think we may end up, and I'll certainly work with the police chief on this as the LTA. I made their police commission aware of it last week, and I think we will potentially put some Jersey barriers there to keep the motorists away from that, in case there's any undermining, just for a safety hazard. That would, we would need to move the center line over. There's now 2 lanes in the eastbound direction, so we would reduce the eastbound direction to 1 lane and have, 1 lane going in each direction there for the short term, and hopefully in the spring of '22. Over the winter, we'll get the job bid out. We'll be able to put our hands on some of the materials we need and hopefully make that one of the earlier projects in next construction season. So I just wanted you to be aware of that in case you're questioned by anybody.
Through the chair, I have a question.
Sure.
If I remember right, when Roy was here, he said the piping was undersized, or am I thinking of something else? And they had to put bigger piping system in there, is that part of it?
To be honest with you, I'm not aware of it being undersized. I was told it was an old steel pipe and it just all rotted out on the bottom, so it's just, because it's not contained anymore, it's just taking the material, undermining everything, and it's all settling and falling in. I'll ask that question tomorrow, and if I'm wrong, I'll shoot you guys an email if they're gonna plan on putting a larger pipe in there. The second part to this, and it's going to be one of my capital budget submissions, is there's a cross culvert that goes underneath Echo Lake Road down towards Ice House Road, and that's in pretty poor condition as well. So since there's no funding right now allocated for that, and I don't know if we're going to go for an allocation for both, because the first part of it, the storm pipe's probably 250,000-ish. And the culvert's probably another 200,000 to 300,000, just guessing right now. So if we think that could hold up another 12 months, maybe we push that out to FY '23, '24. But at some point in the near future, we're going to need to look at relining or replacing that cross culvert as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? So Lou, they're gonna, the 2 lanes coming up Echo Lake Road, that's gonna turn into 1?
Potentially, yeah. I think if you put the barriers there, you're not gonna have a whole lane in the westbound direction. It's gonna force the cars to come over, so, from a safety perspective, and again, I'll talk to the police chief, I'm not the LTA. If you don't have enough width coming down, I think it's wise to shorten up the other side and just have 2 wide travel lanes.
Right.
Just when you get near the top of the hill,
Yeah.
widen back.
If I come in to work every morning that way, and, it's kind of over the hill and around the corner,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
it's a
school
bad
buses.
spot for that washout, and I
Yeah.
think we'd be wiser through the winter just to protect ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. Transfer station.
Can I take a minute, Chair? Lou, with that new machine we got at the highway department now, that new vac thing there, does that have a camera on it where you can, when you go in?
I unfortunately, we don't have any camera equipment. I guess when we really need to, we hire a contract, someone to come in, and we pay him to do it. But we don't own any camera equipment. As far as the transfer station, one of the things Mark and I discussed as a way to, add some services for the residents was a potential 3rd day at the transfer station. I did have a lengthy conversation with our transfer station operator, Michael Case. He's in agreement. He thinks it's something that we can certainly incorporate into the schedule. He too is pretty customer service oriented. So he recommended Wednesdays. Saturday, if you've been up there, is always a busy day in the transfer station. So he works a Tuesday to Saturday schedule. He proposed Wednesday because Tuesday he's busy hauling all day, clearing out from Saturday. So what we're gonna propose is 8 to 3 on Wednesday, keeping it 8 to 3 on Thursday, and Saturday 8 to 2. And this would be year-round. One of the things he said, I know they make an adjustment to the Saturday hours during the summer. Mike's been there 2+ years now. He recommended keeping it on a set schedule because he said the residents get confused. He likes the later schedule, being there later on Saturday. He said there's more people in there later than early. So I guess I wanted to make you guys aware of it. I don't know if you have to take a vote on that or not, but if approved, one of the things Mark and I talked about is getting that out to the public, putting it on the website and getting it in the local town news and all that.
Sure. That's a good question about the vote. I'm honestly not sure. Is that something that you think we need to vote on?
I guess it can't hurt to take a vote.
Yeah, I definitely support it.
Yeah, me too,
The
for
only-
sure.
The only question I have, Lou, okay, is, I mean, do we really need to have it for the whole year? Because, in the middle of the winter, in the wintertime, it's,
Yeah.
how much activity you have going on?
So, good question. In my experience, and I got quite a bit of solid waste experience, I was the solid waste superintendent for the city of Waterbury for many years before I moved on to street and highway. After the holidays, you're really busy through January, lightens up in February, then late March, you're gonna see that spring cleaning boom, and that pretty much covers you right till the fall. People in the summer, they're outside doing yard work. So, a little low spot now, probably after leaf collection in late November to Christmas. But you're gonna see, what I would anticipate if we go to a third day is Wednesdays may be slow initially until people catch on. And then I think what you're gonna see, and it's actually a good thing, is you'll see some of the retired people, some of the elderly people coming in on a Wednesday, and it will reduce the volume and the traffic on Saturday, which is probably a good thing, because if you go up there on a busy Saturday, you got cars all over the place. So I think that, you'll see some people that are unemployed and retired coming in there during the week more, and I think you'll see a little bit lighter load on a weekend. But usually after Christmas, it'll be a lot of packaging, a lot of paper, a lot of cardboard, a lot of,
Christmas trees. So we need a motion then. So that's to add Wednesday 8 to 3?
I would say to amend the schedule and make it Wednesday 8 to 3 year-round, Thursday 8 to 3 year-round, and Saturday 8 to 2 year-round.
Make the move, Herb.
I'll make a motion. Through the chair. I make a motion that we approve and sanction the schedule formulated by our Director of Public Works in conjunction with the town manager regarding the transfer station, primarily to benefit the citizens who utilize it Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And may I say, being somebody who's going up there on Saturday myself, it's always beneficial to have it on Saturday. Sure. Of course. And it would be economically prudent to do so without an excess of overtime. Therefore, I make the motion we approve.
Second it?
Gary seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Also, I have the household hazardous waste collection dates for available to Watertown residents, if you guys are interested. They are April 16th, and that will be in Ansonia. I don't have an exact location yet, I just have the hosting town. July 16th, it'll be in Bethlehem, which is probably where our residents will take most advantage of, being it's so close. And then the last one is September 24th in Prospect. But again, these are available, any of the three are available to residents if they choose to drive.
All right.
That is it on the solid waste side. On the highway division, you'll see I put something in the packet. Again, Mark and I have been talking about this in detail since I've been here. I think our goal with this proposed reorganizational chart and proposed job spec is to provide some succession within the department. We currently have 2 working foremen who do primarily blue-collar work. Years ago, there was an MEO clerk position that had an administrative component to it, so they did blue-collar work and some administrative functions, approving purchase orders, invoices, record keeping, et cetera, et cetera. That position has been unfunded for many, many years now. Unfortunately, the work is still there. So I know in years past, they proposed the creation of a whole new position, assistant superintendent, call it whatever you want. And I understand that that's a big financial impact to create another foreman position, another benefit package. So what I'm proposing is taking a look at the 2 working foremen now, upgrading one of those positions, put a little bit of an administrative component and responsibility to it. That person would be the one in charge when our highway superintendent takes his vacation, personal holiday time. Right now, to do that, you're paying one of the 2 working foremen 15% premium on top of their pay. So this job probably nets about a $4,000 raise, with the language there that he or she would act up in the superintendent's absence. That would reduce the need to pay that 15% differential. So it's probably, I mean, with the differential, you're probably paying half of that at the end of the year anyways. So it's probably a $200 to $2,500 expense. It clearly delineates who's in charge in the superintendent's absence. It clearly fills a void for the administrative work that gets done there or should be getting done there. And I think it also provides a succession plan for, when the highway superintendent retires at some point, just kind of gives a clearer path in the hierarchy there. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Through the chair, if I may.
Sure,
Personally, I believe that's great forward thinking. Succession planning should be something that all departments think about, and so we don't struggle when a superintendent retires or leaves us, that we have somebody that's ready to step up into place and continue moving us forward. So I'm definitely in support of this.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
sure.
I concur with Robert Talick on this, and it narrows the span of control from the superintendent himself. Instead of directly supervising all of the foremen, it's creating a second position who performs all the clerical work, et cetera, the accounting and issuing of materials, and receives calls of complaint. And the general foreman, very important, replaces the highway superintendent during his absence. And minimum qualifications, I just read them over very quickly. I like that. I'm sure there's people there that are or may be qualified. I'm just curious, what is the selection process going to be?
So this now is a draft form. Mark and I did have the blue collar president in. We're waiting for some feedback from him. This could change. A couple small things may or may not change. I hope to tie this in with the budget process. If approved sometime in the next month or two with the upcoming budget cycle. If we decided that we wanted to make this happen before July 1st, I think from a financial perspective, we certainly have the resources to make that happen, because we've had a lot of vacancies that would pick up the small differential in that salary for the last few months of the fiscal year. So again, we're waiting to hear back from the blue collar union. They were going to schedule a December meeting, but Mark did want to make you guys aware of this and hopefully gain some support for this, because when we decide to officially, it'll come back before you and before the council as a whole.
Thank you. Very well explained.
Any questions, guys?
not on that topic, but something else, for the next part of the chart, if I have,
Okay.
want me to say it now or later?
Sure, go ahead, Gary.
Let's see, how come you have MEO ones down there 3 times, you know, with 3 under each of them?
Yeah, so there are currently, nine MEOs, MEO one, so I guess, you know, we could spread them out. They both do, I mean, all 9 of them do answer to, the crew leader,
Yeah.
the MEO twos, the crew leaders. I guess we could amend this and put the laborers under the 3 of that, you know, the 3 of those brackets.
Yeah, no, I just didn't know, you know, all right, so you do have 9 MEO ones. I just didn't know why you put down 3, 3, and 3.
Yeah, we do. There was only 6,
Yeah.
for a while. They held back on, there was 9 always.
Yeah,
And then recently, within the past year, once my predecessor left and they were waiting for someone to come fill this chair, with the proposed assistant superintendent, they weren't sure what direction they wanted to go in. I guess they wanted my opinion, and they held up promoting 3 individuals into this position. So there was 6 MEO ones and 6 laborers. They wanted to save a few grand in case somebody saw something different. I personally wanted to take advantage of those CDL license because we have enough heavy pieces of equipment that we need them. And again, we were paying them a differential every time they hopped in the truck anyways. We were probably losing money. It was cheaper to promote them. So after discussing with Mark, he did, a few weeks ago, a month ago, approve posting those positions. There were 3 internally qualified candidates, and they were just certified into those positions about, I don't know if it was last Monday or the week before, within the last week or 2. So there are currently 9 MEO ones and 3 laborers.
okay.
Sounds good. Sure, go ahead.
I say that the explanation by Mr. Spina was well received by me, and I'm sure other members of the board. Reason being, this proposal was brought up months ago by Mr. Spina's predecessor. It was explained differently. It was almost, as if it was gonna be forced on us. This is the way we wanted it, this is the way it was gonna be. Well explained, it makes sense, I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, that's good.
So I don't think we have to take any action on this at this point, correct?
I don't believe you do. Mark and I wanted you to be aware of it. We're gonna wait to get a little more feedback from the Blue Collar Union.
Right.
And then, you know, probably if not at next month's meeting in February, we'll hopefully have something firmed up, you know, less of a draft form and more of a financial for your consideration. And again, if approved, then we'll take it to the council as a whole.
Perfect.
Do we need to come to some type of vote just to send it forward to Mark showing our support, or?
It doesn't, what do you think, Lou?
I don't think it hurts, you know, to show that
Okay.
you're in support of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna support it. Is everybody on board?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Make a motion that we support the effort of making a assistant superintendent, or general foreman, if you will, as soon as we could financially do it.
All right,
Second.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right.
And then lastly, under new business, I went out and picked dates for all of next year's meetings. I know they're generally the second Tuesday of the month. I've been told that in the past, the only 2 exceptions to that are the October one, because the second Monday is always Columbus Day, is on a Tuesday. And I was told that we normally do not meet in November because of the election and the special meetings that are associated with that. So if everybody is in agreement with that or has no objections, you guys can vote to approve this schedule of meetings for 2022.
Any questions, guys? Changes? All works for everybody?
I'll make a motion, we accept the schedule for next year's meeting dates.
Thanks, Gare.
Second.
Second by Rob. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. No transfers or appropriations. So we just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Recording stopped.
Yeah. Good meeting.